Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Max Shoots Film. Okay, today we have a really exciting episode. I'm on a journey to find another set of great camera bodies and lenses. Recently, I've had a ton of issues with not one, not two, but all three of my Leica M bodies. All of them have to go off for repair. So while they're getting repaired and I'm deciding if I'm even going to go back to Leica after they're returned, that could take forever. I'm trying to find a lens and camera body combination that will get me as close to the Leica look as possible. So that journey pretty much begins today. Today's episode, we will be reviewing specifically the Voigtlander Nokton f1.4 lens. This will be one lens that I'm trying to replace my Summicron f2. Yeah, it's a little faster, but I'm looking for high quality glass. And then next week's episode, we'll talk about the Voigtlander 40mm. Today's episode is gonna go like this. First, we'll go out into the field and do a portrait session with this camera, the Nikon f100, as well as the Voigtlander 58 f1.4. Then we'll come back, talk about some of the technical aspects of this lens, go through a few of the images, and then give my final thoughts. Timestamp will be below for the breakdown of the entire video. Spoiler alert, this lens is amazing. You'll see throughout the video, it really exceeded my expectations, and I can't wait to show you these images and then to review them with you. I shot the f100 for one specific reason on this shoot. One, I'm shooting during daylight, and I really like a fast shutter speed, 1/8,000th of a second. But the main reason is this lens has CPU contacts, which will allow me to use focus assist in the Nikon f100. I am mortified of SLR focusing. I am terrible at it, and I've gotten really used to rangefinder style focusing, which I've found that no matter how wide open I shoot, I've been really lucky and able to consistently hit focus. Focus assist on this f100 turned out to be a lifesaver. You'll see it in the video. So let's go do a portrait session, run this lens in the humid southeast scorching sun, and then come back and let's just geek out on some tech stuff and then go through my thoughts on this lens. All right, guys, see you back here. What up? All right, first shot of the day. We're gonna do it right near our neighborhood. Really cool little landscape. We'll hop on it. 58 f1.4 Nikon f100. Okay, so I've got her, you can see she's in a pocket of shadow, but if you look up, the sun's up here. I'm gonna backlight her. So I'm gonna have to overexpose for her face. So I'll get a reading. I'm using spot metering, I'll spot meter on her face. Let's do it. One, two. Okay, in this shot, we've got a good grassy field. She's backlit, so it'd be great rim light. But I have to remember, I need to set my exposure for her shadows on her body. Otherwise, she'll be in a shadow, I'll pull those shadows up in post. And on film, shadows pulled up in post are just trash. All right, let me get my exposure. I'm gonna shoot this at around f2. Get my exposure here. f2, 500th of a second. Yep, and I need to get low. Holy crap, this is gonna be amazing. Okay, so the Southeast is absolutely miserable. We've been outside for like 5 minutes and I've already sweated through my shirt. Note to self when shooting in the South. Wear a black shirt so all your YouTube peeps can't see you sweating through your shirt. And as I was saying earlier in that last shot, focus assist on the Nikon F100 was definitely struggling when it was backlit. I think because it uses contrast detection and there was no contrast. So it was like, what are you focusing on? So it's learning as we go. I chose to shoot this test roll with the Nikon F100 specifically for the focus assist. I struggle with SLR focusing. I'm used to a rangefinder, it's much easier, but I'll work through that. We're gonna continue to walk around and grab some shots, shoot this roll, then kill some time till golden hour, and then get back out on the field and get after it. All right, guys, let's do it. Okay, let's use these leading lines. Back up, is that 58? All right, I'm gonna shoot at f4. I'm gonna get my exposure on her face. Right there. I'm gonna lock. Okay. There we go, 1, 2. I want you right in the middle, and I want you to do one of these. So get in the middle where this light is. Turn towards the light. Step over that way. Yep, right there. Okay, perfect. Let me stop down. I'm gonna go to F2 on this one. Okay, just like that, I've sweated through my shirt, and we're gonna run to the house and change into a black shirt. So mid-video change. Let's go. Back in the game again. Oh yeah, this is gonna be amazing. Yeah, hold that right there. 1, 2. Turn towards me, upper body towards me. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take advantage of the Nikon F100 continuous shutter speed. It's like 4 frames per second. I'm gonna set manual focus on her, and she's gonna spin around it. As she's spinning, I'm just gonna hold down on the shutter and fire through it. I only have a few frames left. It says I'm at 33. I typically get 38 on the Nikon F100, and let's just shoot through that and see what happens. You ready? Okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Sit. Okay, so we have changed locations. We drove down the road just about 4 or 5 miles to a new park. It's a really cool little park. It has a bunch of canoes, as you can see in the background. We're gonna set Dani up in a few different positions. I've switched over to Lomo 800. I'm metering it at 500. And as the light drops, I'm pretty sure that'll come in handy. But you don't have 1/8,000th of a second shutter speed with the F100, so it can handle direct light even at 500 ISO. I'm just trying to burn through some rolls to make sure we get enough images to be able to determine, hey, you know, how does this lens perform? Is it a viable replacement for my Leica lenses? And also, do we have enough images to even make a video? So, hope you're enjoying it, guys. Let's get after it. All right, so we're rapidly approaching golden hour. So let's get it one with her seated, shoot shallow depth of field like the whole video, see how the focus assist on the F100 helped with focusing something like 58 f1.4 lens. Let's get after it. hold on 1 second. Yeah, 1, 2, hold that right here. Great. Yeah, just like that. Okay, we're running out of light, and I've walked through like 3 spider webs, freaking out. Ah! So good times, good times. But it's a really cool park that we just happened upon. Open up Google Maps, type in park, pick one that's around Lake Norman, and there's endless parks here. We got really lucky. This is like a little point that sticks out into the lake. Really beautiful lighting right now. You can see it glowing in the background. I hope it transfers over to film. I've been shooting a lot of these images at f1.4, hoping the focus assist is actually assisting with focus. But if not, it's good to know that, right? So it's okay if these images aren't like amazing, because I'm gonna learn from this in every one I shoot. And the ultimate goal is to replace my Leica lenses, and I need to shoot them in scenarios I'd shoot my Leica glass in, and that's exactly what we're doing today. All right, we're gonna walk around just a few more minutes and then probably get out of here and go shower in gasoline and burn off all these spider webs and spiders. All right, so what did you think? I'll tell you what, using the Nikon F100 really gave me the confidence to take any shot I felt was right, given the lighting conditions of the scene. With the manual focus SLR, usually I am constantly worried, am I hitting focus? This lens with the CPU contacts allowed me to not only electronically control the aperture, but it gave me that focus confirmation. So I could put the focus point on Dani's eye, turn the focus ring until I saw the fully illuminated green circle in the bottom left of the camera, and I knew it was in focus. And as you saw in the video, I would say 90% of my shots were f2 or faster, most of them being f1.4 to f1.8. And using the f100, another benefit was that fast shutter speed, 1/8,000th of a second. So later in the day when we went to Lake Norman, I was using 800 speed film set at 500, but still we had a good amount of light when we first arrived, and that wasn't a concern. I could still stop down to f1.4 and never outran my shutter. I think the fastest I went was like a 5,000th of a second, but it's good to know I had the shutter speed there to help me out and let me shoot wide open. All right, before we go into the image review, let's just talk about some of the technical aspects of this lens real quick to get it out of the way. First of all, as you can see, it is a small profile lens. Now, being small doesn't mean it's light. It is 320 grams, about 12 ounces. Not terribly heavy, but it's not a plastic body lightweight lens. Speaking of that, it is all metal construction, which I really appreciate. The focus ring on it has these scallops all around it, which if you're a Leica shooter, you know that. So a lot of those lenses have the little thumb tab that you can use to focus. So this is like a dozen little thumb tabs where if you're shooting at a very shallow depth of field, you can easily just tuck your finger in there and ride right into your focus point and stop. Speaking of focusing, it is so smooth. It's well dampened. It's easy to slide right into your focus point and not go right past it. There's just enough resistance and an immediate stop when you stop. It doesn't keep going, which is great. Now, I will say that the focus throw is quite long, from 1.5 feet, which is the minimum focusing distance, to infinity. Pack a lunch. It's going to be a long ride if you're going from minimum focus distance to infinity. It's not overly burdensome, but I thought I would mention it because it is quite excessive, but it's that way for a reason. This is a portrait lens. If it was too short a throw, it would be really hard to nail focus. They give you plenty of runway to slide into that focus point. I've spoke constantly about those CPU contacts. Those CPU contacts are located right on the back. They allow the lens to talk to the camera body. So not only can you have focus assist, but you can also electronically control your aperture. So I was stopping down using the thumb controls. And I know most of us watching this are film shooters, but a lot of photographers buy this and not only shoot it on their manual focus film SLRs, but something like this guy right here, the Nikon D750 or any other SLR or mirrorless, right, with an adapter. You can quickly and easily throw it on, control that f-stop with the thumb wheel on your film camera, electronically controlled film camera, or your DSLR. So that's really nice. And it's great that I can easily go from film to digital with the same lens, which I really appreciate. And if I'm going to be replacing those Leica lenses, it's great to quickly and easily be able to go from this F-mount body to this F-mount body. Of course, you can do that with Leica M glass as well. Overall, mechanically, this lens is amazing. Not too heavy, not too bulky, right? It doesn't stick way out on the camera body. I haven't tried it on a manual focus SLR body, but I'm sure it's no problem there. The heavy f100 really ate up the weight of this lens and helped it balance really well. Okay, enough about the technical stuff. Let's review some of the images to talk about what type of image quality this lens produces with a little more detail than we did in the shoot. Then after that, I'll give my final thoughts and we'll wrap it up. If you guys are liking the content so far, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. It helps more than you know. And be sure to subscribe if you're into this type of content. All right, let's take a look at some images. Okay, let's jump right into some of my favorite images. And we'll start with my favorite one right out of the gate. This image was absolutely amazing in my opinion. I hit the light just right. Clouds had just moved in. Dani was standing just on the entrance of a sidewalk that was covered in trees, and this one branch was just peeking out into the subdued sunlight. Put Dani in front of it, hopped up on a bench, and I shot this at f1.4, and as you can see, it is razor sharp at 1.4. I am zoomed in so much, and you can see individual eyelashes. Now, this was 400 speed film, and I developed this myself, so you can see some grain there. But I really love the matte finish on this. It's almost painterly. You can see some of the bokeh balls back there. It's just exactly what I want in my film images, and I'm so lucky to capture this one. All right, so let's check out another one real quick. Here's another one in this is the same location. Back here is where I took that other photo where you see the trees start here. I stood on this bench right here, put Dani in the light. And the reason I'm showing this one is I just wanted to show that 3D separation between Dani and the background right there. Absolutely beautiful image. You can see there is some chromatic aberration. It's not overwhelming, but it's definitely there. Hop into another one where I just feel like it gives such an amazing 3D pop. And the way it renders colors is just, it's exactly what I wanted. I'm so happy that this is one of the first lenses I tested. Dani has a 50 planar f1.4 made by Zeiss. I've shot that, but in my opinion, it's very soft, wide open. This Voigtlander is just so sharp, wide open. Great background separation there. Here's another one where it just is amazing. I did miss focus here, but what I wanted to show is how painterly the out of focus areas are. It's just unbelievable. The bokeh looks a little busy here, you'll see, but nothing out of control. The 3D separation from the background though is just insane. Another one here. I really love how it almost looks like she's standing in front of a backdrop, how it just mashed out the background and the way she pops out from it. But you can see it's pretty busy there. Looks like some onion rings, but I'm so pleased with this lens. Here's another one. This is actually right in front of our place. How it's so painterly in the way it renders the out of focus areas. The color is amazing. This is true to life. This is exactly the color of her dress, exactly the color of her hair. I just couldn't be happier with that. Here's one that I really am glad I took this shot. It was pushing the absolute limits of the film and the lens. the light source is in front of Dani, and her body is 100% in shadow here. I exposed for her body, got close, focused on the shadowy dark areas, stepped back from there. And you can see now this sun is hitting full force onto this tree, and the chromatic aberration, considering the punishment that it's taking, is not terrible. I could have fixed that easily in post in Lightroom. It's almost one click to fix that, but I chose to leave it for the review. Another thing I wanted to call out was how, even though she was in shadow, still rendered her beautifully there. I just love the colors on this lens. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for color and character, and hopefully some sharpness. I'm always willing to give up sharpness for color and character, and I think this lens just did it. So these are some of my favorite images from the day, and I am so pleased with the lens that costs a fourth of what my Leica Summicron cost, and I think from a performance standpoint it's 80% of the way there. This lens, this image here is just the banger of the day for me. I'm really glad I caught that. Shot it at 1.4, and thank goodness for the focus assist on that Nikon F100. Okay guys, so there it is, the Voigtlander 58mm f1.4 lens. We saw a full photo shoot, talked a little bit about the tech specs, and then went through a few of my images. I guess final thoughts are, yeah, this is definitely the lens for me. I am keeping this. I bought this brand new on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. I wanted it brand new because I was almost certain it was going to meet my needs. I've done a ton of research, and some other photographers that I follow, I've seen the work they produce with it, and I really respect those guys like Trev Lee. You know, he DM'd me on Instagram and turned me on to Voigtlander lenses, specifically this 58 and this 40mm f2, which we're going to review in another video. So I bought that brand new as well. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the Voigtlander lens, and I think if you're looking for a portrait lens that's just a bit longer than standard focal length 50mm, this is the one for you. It's going to be crazy sharp, and it gives you a lot of creative control. The color rendering is amazing. The out of focus areas are perfection for me. It's going to meet my needs. It's a fourth the cost of my Summicron, and it's 80% of the quality. And you know what, for film that's going to be good enough. And I bet if I shot that on my digital camera, it would have just made banger after banger as well. So really pleased with that. All right guys, next episode will be the 40mm, so I hope to see you there. All right guys, have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend wherever you're at in the world. See you next episode.